Today we're going to talk about the layers of the skin in general, and then in a separate video we're going to talk about one of the layers in more depth. So if we're looking at the skin, we have three general layers. So the top layer is going to be the epidermis. And the epidermis is going to contain that epithelial tissue that most people associate with skin. Okay, so it's going to be that stratified squamous epithelium. Underneath it, we have what's called the dermis, which is broken up into two layers. Okay, so the top layer is the papillary layer, and then underneath it is the reticular layer. The reticular layer is going to have dense, irregular connective tissue, proper, and the papillary layer is going to have areolar tissue. Which again, if you think about tissues that tend to go together, you usually see epithelial tissues near areolar tissues, right? Remember, it's kind of that loose tissue that allows for kind of more like a gentle support. So one of the things that we'll see in our areolar tissue are some like elastic fibers, just a couple, some immune support, but there's not a lot going on there. The reticular layer with its dense irregular connective tissue proper, right? So we've got tons of collagen that can move in lots of different directions. That's why I can take my skin here and pull it in lots of different directions, is because that collagen has that kind of more, looks like the top of a latte type orientation. And this is where you're going to get things like the sweat glands will be down here. We'll see things like the hair follicles, right? If I've got my root of my hair growing out through here. And again, lots of blood vessels, all sorts of things. And then underneath the dermis and the epidermis, at the very bottom here, we have the hypodermis, or the subcutaneous layer. And this is where we're going to see lots of things like lots of fat, so lots of adipocytes. We're going to see more nerves and blood vessels and all that good stuff. So if you've ever heard of a hypodermic needle, it's going to this region here. Anyway, those are the general